Whoa, she's loud.
She's alive.
She's alive.
Yay.
Did it feel good, the chair?
Yes.
It's still?
Yes.
It feels better?
Mm-hmm.
Is it even? Is it straight?
Yeah, we put on 3 of the 4
Close enough.
bolts. So lots of things happening in this moment. What she was just referring to is we've had the driver's seat out because we fully gutted everything. We put all the paint and everything down, the subfloor, and so we took that out for that process. Well, we've been wanting / needing to drive it around here and there, and not so safely, I or Nick have been driving it around with this seat that's just sitting there but not actually attached to the bus. And so
and as you get into the bus, I'm like, remember the seat's not bolted down, and then we're driving to my sister's house.
I forget every time.
He forgets, and we're driving to my sister's house, and I'm like, this is the turn, and he slows and then goes to turn, but it's still a little too quick, and there goes the seat while he's trying to turn. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're all gonna die.
Oh, it's so sketchy, and it's very sensitive. Even if you're turning very slow, you'll tip over or slide. So
it's bolted down now.
Yeah, we decided let's just bolt it down.
And we'll unbolt it, do it again.
When we need to, because it's actually fairly easy to do.
Anyway.
Yeah, so that's one thing that's been happening.
Then the car battery died.
That's why I just had it on. We had it running for the past almost hour because the car battery died because we've been having the doors open, the light on, as we've been working on it and not driving it all that much. And it died on us. So we let it run, it's recharged, I think. We'll see when we try to turn it back on. It's certainly possible that it either didn't charge enough or the battery is toast, which is not that big of a deal. We may decide we want / need a new battery anyways.
I feel like the only conversation we are having these days is batteries. Batteries.
Electrical batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of the point where we're at is we've officially decided on a floor plan. We have not measured completely yet.
Yeah.
But we have the flow, pun intended, of what we're going to be doing.
When you go in. And we're really excited for it.
Yes.
I think all of the other creative stuff that we have hit and that we're excited for is all because we officially finally decided that the bus is not just for us.
The bus is not just for us.
The bus is not just for us. Our intention with the bus is to go and meet people and be with people and make new friends and go places where there's a lot of people.
Yep.
And I kept thinking, if we turned her into this, beautiful little room with, the things, and it was so pristine and crisp and, Instagram ready and all of this stuff, then I wouldn't want anyone in it. And we have a 70-pound pit bull, and I wouldn't want him jumping on anything. And then I was like, no, that is not what we intended this for. This is not, I don't want to turn into I'm trying to make everything perfect all the time.
Yeah.
So
it is a mobile party, a conscious shindig.
She's the
obviously.
festival vessel.
She's the festival vessel.
She's the festival
yes.
vessel.
So what we officially decided on, functionally, tactically, is in the back of the bus. So there's 2 doors that open to the very back, and then right to the side of that, adjacent, perpendicular to it, is where the wheelchair accessible thing used to be. And so there's a door for that. Well, the wheelchair thing is obviously out, but we have this huge door. And originally we were gonna close it off.
We were gonna seal it.
We were gonna seal it.
We almost did while you were gone.
I'm so glad we didn't.
Yeah.
Well, and part of that, to some degree at least, was that we didn't have the key for it. So it was we couldn't lock it. I was like, shit, well, we need to seal this. We don't think it's going to work anyways. We're going to have the bed in the back there. It's going to be we don't need it, basically. We kind of, all these things determined that. However, I found myself a treasure while we were taking out a last piece of paneling that we were maybe not going to take out because all the electrical is there. But it just was dirty. There was still a little bit of that leftover crappy insulation. And so a few days ago, as we were doing some stuff, I was like, I'm just going to take this out. And so I took it all out. And as I was taking it out, Nick lifts up this huge thing of 15 keys. It's 6 backup, just regular engine keys, a couple to the door, and lo and behold, the one that goes specifically to that side door. So now we can lock it and unlock it, which is awesome.
So we're going to leave it open.
We're going to leave it open.
The entire back of our bus, we are creating to have our bed on a hoist wench system, if I said this correctly.
I'll show you a hoist wench.
Stop. So the bed with an app on our phone, I'm pretty stoked for this.
Pretty cool.
You press up which we don't know if it actually is going to work. This is just in theory. We press up,
gonna
and it's going to lift our bed high on these rails, so that the underneath part is our seating area, but it's like low to the ground. It's going to be a zen den. Yes, so we're going to create it to where when all the doors are open, all the doors have functionality outside of, like, once the door is open, it turns into a table. It turns into something like a bar top.
A place to, like, barbecue and stuff.
Right, where we can cook outside. And then when the back two doors are open, for those to also have functionality when they're open and when they're closed. And for all of the seating to be in that general area, lots of cushions and pillows and awesome, cozy, comfy, like, everybody's welcome to come in and sit down and chill and have fun and connect, which we're all about.
So we've been getting tons of inspiration
Downloads.
from all kinds of awesome people out there who have gotten super creative. What was the one that we kind of finalized that idea with? Like how everything slid together and it turned to like one. It's like a California king size bed when everything is folded out.
You mean
the most recent one? That guy.
Oh, Navigation Nowhere.
Navigation Nowhere.
Navigation Nowhere.
So
the bus is named Navi.
So I'll see how well I can explain this real quickly.
Maybe it's Navi. I don't know.
Whatever. Tomato, tomato. So when we have like the bed up on like the electronic pulley system, it'll be up against the ceiling.
Which we got from that
button.
Anna Wells lady.
Yes, from a tiny homes thing.
Yes.
And so it'll be up, and then when we're sleeping, it'll be down like kind of middle.
Yeah.
So I'll have plenty of room, right? But when it's up, we have bench seating that'll be against the two walls. Those bench seatings will have like cushions on the back and that you sit on. Underneath it will be storage, and including like the batteries and like the wheel well. So it'll be covering some stuff / holding some stuff. But what we can do is, again, when the bed's up, or when it's down actually, but when it's up, we'll slide those out and have a functionality to where they slide out and meet together in the middle. So it's one massive like pillow bed,
cuddle
type of area. You could have like, it's seemingly pretty comfortable, maybe up to like 10 people.
10, I was going to say maybe 10.
And with those two doors open and that whole back area, it's just
like
this
other kinds of seating.
Yeah.
Maybe one will be a DJ area.
Ooh. Spinning on the old ones and twosies.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
And then carry on.
Well, then the front of the bus is where the more livable, functional, different kind of functional will be.
Kitchen area.
So like, the kitchenette, some like cabinets and storage, the fridge.
The fridge is in the bus
There's
right now.
Pretty cool fridge in there.
At
first, when she went on a freaking buying spree while I was out of town. I come back and my credit cards are all maxed out, and we have like just tons of really expensive, awesome electronic stuff. Like a crazy AC unit that's going to be on the top of the bus.
It was all here.
The bed, the pulley system, all of it. And somehow, miraculously, these pieces of plastic cards that you call credit cards keep working. It's a miracle.
Plastic money.
So this was just a check-in because we haven't gone live on this page a whole lot, and I was feeling inspired, especially because the bus started and hasn't been active the past several days, and we just finalized this floor plan that feels so in alignment and on brand with us.
Which excited me with my new
obsession. Ooh, talk about that.
With my new obsession, because with our understanding of what the bus's purpose was going to be, I think that was a big thing. Was like we were creating this bus, but what is she for? You know, like
there wasn't
cool.
like a
there wasn't like
vision.
a clear vision. Like, what do we really want to do with her? Because you travel a lot with your work, and I can go just about anywhere. And then we have Biggie, so it was like, what is the purpose of Florence? And thinking of our floor plan and like wanting to have people, and going back to the whole festival vessel idea, we have a festival coming up in New Orleans pretty soon called Voodoo Fest. And I kept thinking, I want to have the bus done for Voodoo Fest so that we can have her at Voodoo Fest.
Yep.
And then thinking of the plan and wanting to have people and thinking of that and thinking of like festival life and how we dress and how we play and how we prepare for a festival, but then also thinking about how we are trying to do everything that we can as consciously as we can in the bus so that we are lessening our carbon footprint as we're going, eco-friendly,
efficient,
animal-friendly, all the things. And then I think of festivals, and I think of something like glitter, which when I think of like, oh, I'm getting ready, it's cute outfits and it's lots of glitter. And I think to myself, ooh, you can hear the locusts.
I know, it's wild.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, glitter. And then I thought, oh, that's what I want to do. I want to take Florence around and I want to provide biodegradable glitter for people to come by the bus and get glitterified, basically. If we want to use that word. But we want to do it.
I'm tentatively calling it Glow with the Flow. She's not sold on it yet, but I think it's going to wear on her.
I don't know, but we want to glitter people.
Yes.
And we want to do it for free.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Tentatively, we want to do it for free because we want this to be our mark. We want this to be what we gift, our contribution to festival community, to people who we go meet at festivals, and to the earth.
Yep.
And so we are looking at, if you have favorite biodegradable glitter companies that you are associated with, we are looking, if we're going to do it for free, then of course we were looking for sponsorship. We want the glitter to be sent to us. That way we can do the painting, take the professional pictures, show it places. And that way we can contribute. And we can also lessen the microplastics that are in the oceans, killing the planktons and killing the whales.
Be conscious of the plankton.
The plankton.
Come on, the damn planktons.
I know. Anyway,
They're a staple, foundational piece of the ecosystem of
marine life.
I'm half joking, but completely serious.
Completely
at the same
serious,
time.
also. So anyway,
and so she's like already kind of known to some degree of being like the glitter goddess. Ooh, that just came up in this moment. You like that, huh?
I dig it.
We're suckers for alliteration, and shocker, she's a goddess.
You want to kiss my lipstick, but you don't.
Come on. And actually, to that point, this past weekend I had some friends, my best friend's mom and sister, come in town, and it just happened to be Southern Decadence Festival down here in New Orleans.
It's a really big...
You love when I say New Orleans.
No, I don't.
Nola.
Anyway.
A big, gay festival parade.
Yeah.
And so
Pride Week
she glittered all of us up, but it wasn't the most conscious glitter.
And I said this will be the last time I ever have glitter on my body or on anybody else that I'm around that doesn't have, that is not biodegradable, that isn't non-toxic, friendly in all the ways.
Yep.
So
give us your recommendations. And then, so that's kind of like her/our contribution.
Right,
and me,
yeah.
I'm somewhat known as being like the bulletproof bro. Supplements, bulletproof coffee, biohacking, that kind of stuff. Fucks your heart.
Free range, no GMO,
wild caught, organic, buzzwords,
non-pasteurized.
And so that's what I want to bring. What we want to bring for this Flow Life experience, and that's the bigger vision is the Flow Mobile, the Flow Life.
What if it's just called Flow Life Glitter?
It could just be that. That's probably, maybe we were overthinking it before.
Maybe we were overthinking it.
What do you think, Flow Life Glitter or Glow with the Flow? Let you decide. Maybe we'll do a poll.
How you were standing?
I have a white. Well, because if I stand close, then it cuts my head off, and you're just staring at my nipples.
Maybe it's like this.
If I stand back, then you look taller than me, and I feel emasculated. If I stand like this, it's kind of a power stance.
Sure. Well, we're talking names for glitter because we potentially might want to get involved in producing our own.
Totally. And as part of this big grand vision, I'm imagining a website, which we got to buy that today, the domain.
Yes.
I'm not going to tell them because if somebody's watching and they buy it and try and pull one of those dirty moves and sell it to us for $1 billion, that's not conscious.
You didn't finish telling me about bulletproof, by the way.
What else was it? Oh, I'm going to be making bulletproof coffee and offering supplements. Yeah, I don't remember if I officially said it either. But we want this to be a welcoming place where it's fun, it's informative, it's eco-friendly, it's conscious.
It's
and
shiny
just cool.
and caffeinated.
It induces a flow life.
Yes.
To bring it full circle.
I love it so much. So it's kind of like if you see us at a festival and it's you and it's a mixed bag, guys and girls, right? And anything in between, anyone in between.
Yep.
Let's just say a traditional kind of couple comes and it's, it's the chicks and it's the guys and he's making the coffee and I'm providing the glitter. It's kind of like, you go into a boutique and there's couches, there's seating area. It's like that's guys to just chill while the girls get pretty and do the things, right? So one of those kinds of experiences, of course, videoing it, picturing it, and doing things,
And at some point in the future, I'm imagining a website where we have our own branded glitter and little knickknacks and paddywhacks that support a flow type of lifestyle.
Conscious fest going.
Yeah, and that excites the mother-loving shitski out of me. And, The,
whole point.
the title of this video is...
We got excited and wanted to tell you about her and what she's going to be doing.
I just bled everything that came up.
I loved it, though.
It was fun. It is fun.
Yeah.
So, we are preparing for our first hurricane.
Heroicane.
Oh. Well, certainly my first hurricane. I imagine Flo's first hurricane, because she's from California. Not many hurricanes over there. But you've experienced many, including the most notable one, Hurricane Katrina, when you were a senior in high school, right?
Yep.
Wow. You want to talk about that real quickly?
What would you like for me to say?
Well,
or talk about?
A 30-second how it affected your life.
Okay. I was a senior in high school, and I was at like a preseason high school football game with my friends, and much like I found out about Gordon that's getting ready to hit sometime tonight.
Which kind of Gordon are you talking about? Not Gordon, the Good Energy Guru, the steward of all things good energy.
Is this cutting into my 30
yeah, keep
seconds?
Going. Nope.
Avatar.
Channeling.
There you have it. So I was at this thing called the Jamboree. It was a football game down at the further end of the parish, because we don't have counties. And I was expecting to go stay by one of my friends' house. It was like the first week of high school of my senior year. I was expecting to go stay at one of my friends' house, and somebody asked me what are you doing tonight, like, or something like, what are you doing this weekend? I said, well, I'm going to my friend's house tonight. And they said, wait, but aren't you leaving? I said, why would I leave? They said, there's a really bad storm coming. And I called my mom and I said, am I not allowed to go to my friend's house anymore? People are telling me there's a storm coming. And her response was, enjoy the rest of the game, come home right after the game is over, and start to pack. You need to pack anything that
you can't live without.
That you can't live without. You need to bring it with you, and anything that you would be upset that you can't bring, you need to put it in plastic bags and put them as high as you can find a place to put them in your room.
That's so wild.
And I said, okay. And I went home and I packed up, and I didn't come back for almost 3 months.
Wow.
So I started going to school in Georgia. I almost didn't leave there once I got into school there. My mom, when she finally could get into our parish wasn't open for a while, and it was a mandatory evacuation. People were literally escorted out of their homes and put into buses and vehicles. It wasn't safe to be here where we are now. Mm-hmm. So you can imagine, like, somebody coming to the door and being like, if you were in here, you have to leave.
Yeah, wow.
You know, we will not let you die in there, basically, because we didn't know, like, the levee system, everything down here. So anyway, my mom was coming back and forth, and my best friend from Georgia, she's one of my best friends now, her family, without knowing me, took me in, so that even though most of my family is there, but she was going to the same high school, and it was just convenient for me to go with this new friend that I met at this new school. And so my mom was going back and forth, a 9-hour drive from Georgia, close to Atlanta, back into the city until our home was back, everything, the electricity was back on and everything. So that was my experience. The home that I was in, we were in transition, moving out of that and into a new one anyway. That new one needed a new roof, new walls, new flooring. The area where the refrigerator was, the entire portion of the kitchen had to be removed. You know, it was a big deal. My school went from being one school to being one school that housed, I think, a total of 5 schools. And some people just never came back. Some people's homes were gone. Some people needed to use the coordinates of where their land was in order to find where their land was, because it was so, to the naked eye, just there was no ability to recognize. You know, it's like not uninhabitable, unrecognizable.
Oh yeah. Okay.
They couldn't just by looking. The landscape was so different after. So yeah, it was a crazy experience. It took a long time for us to get everything looking back to normal or close enough, but it didn't take long for us to bond as a community.
Yeah. So that 30-second riff turned into 30 minutes. I'm kidding.
It was 2.
No, it's wild. Like, this is something that's to some degree par for the course. Like, you guys have these tropical storms,
right,
and or hurricanes at least once or twice a year, right? Isn't that
right? It's a handful of times we're at a threat every year,
Yeah.
Because we're in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, and the water down here is very warm. It's always like off the coast of Africa, here it comes. And it's so interesting because people say, you know, I don't understand why would you keep going back if the hurricanes keep going there. Like, why would you live there? I don't understand why people would live there. But it's like,
It's home.
you don't choose where your home is.
Well, it's just like California,
Right.
you know, like my home.
Like
it's-
your actual home where you were born,
Yeah.
you don't choose that.
Yeah,
You choose where
totally.
you go and you make home.
Yeah, in California, there's an imminent earthquake at any given moment, and I don't know if you've ever seen that movie with The Rock, Pacific Rim, I think it's called. That was actually one of the more disturbing, like, kind of gruesome, graphic movies I've ever seen. It was also a really awesome movie.
Is there a
but
shark in it?
No, it's just
Is it an
it's this earthquake on the San Andreas Fault, which is the big one along the coast, where it's like said that at any given moment there could be a catastrophic, like damn near worldwide earthquake that is the epicenter from.
Wow.
The Pacific Rim, this movie with The Rock, like is that playing
Of course
out?
The Rock's in it.
And you know, there's been several pretty bad earthquakes in the last several decades. And at any moment, there could be another one, whether it's a minimal one or a massive one. That's not going to keep me from living there.
Right.
Just like a hurricane that could be mellow or could be bad is not going to keep
Right.
people from living here.
Well, my family is from this parish over 300 years.
Yeah.
My family name has been in this parish longer than New Orleans has been a city.
That's wild.
So we're not going anywhere. We just keep going a little bit further north, a little bit further north. You know, as our coastline changes and
Deteriorates.
shifts. Yeah. But we're not going anywhere. And our freezer is filled with fish.
We got fish for days. I caught
A
one of those
huge-
fish, a
he caught
big
a
ass
huge, like a
redfish,
14
23 inch.
23 inch.
23
yeah.
inch bad boy, and sitting in our
14
freezer.
inch,
We're
yeah.
gonna, if
We're gonna cook
all
it.
the power goes out, everything goes to shit, we're gonna eat that.
We're gonna eat it all. But
Although if we
how
don't have power,
awesome did it
then-
feel to like catch what you know is gonna provide?
Totally.
What was even better was that when we went out to eat in the city the other day, that same fish, a third of what that fish was labeled marked in the restaurant at $24.
Yeah.
So he caught essentially 3 times that.
It's pretty cool.
And that's in the fridge. So when
Yeah.
people are like, why would you go back? For some people, that is their livelihood. That's it. So,
And so that was the first time I've hunted my own food, fished it, hunted regardless,
he's pretty.
and gutted it. I didn't gut that actual fish, but I gut several other fish because I'd never done that before. And now I'm going to cook it and eat it. So it's like a full closed loop of me like fending for myself, which forgot to turn the old do not disturb. Any hoozle. So
Also probably the people with our brake
it is, yeah. So
We
gotta
gotta go
get
pick up our other car. In the
I
bus.
thought hurricane season was over.
What?
That's from Pineapple Express.
Oh shit!
I've
yeah.
been wanting to quote that this entire live. I'm just
Like,
waiting for a moment when it was appropriate, and that was as good as it gets, I think, maybe.
Hurricane season's gonna go all the way until about November.
Yeah, I know. Again, it's just a line from the movie. So what we're going to be
Pineapple
doing
Express.
before this hits, because it's a tropical storm, but it's a hurricane also. But
Stop
the worst
it.
of it is not going to hit here.
He
is in
cannot
theory.
understand. It's a tropical storm right now.
Whatever.
In a few hours,
When it hits,
right before it hits land,
Yeah.
it will be a hurricane.
Okay.
It will be on land as a hurricane category 1
huh?
for a hot minute before it probably will slow down and turn into a tropical storm again. However, it will be a hurricane for its length of time. It's not a hurricane and also a tropical storm.
Ladies and gentlemen, geologist Alexa Martinez over
Geologist?
here. Yeah, Miss
Meteorologist. I love you.
Meteorologist.
I love you.
What? Meteorologist?
That's a person who knows the weather. Tell him.
Maybe. Yeah, you're probably
I'm
right. That's
right.
not, but that's like meteors.
No, it's not. I'm so
Jury's still
glad-
out on that.
I'm so glad
Agree
he's
to
pretty.
disagree.
I'm so glad.
Scholars maintain that you're wrong. So,
Look at
anyways,
actual health.
what we're gonna do? We spent a lot of like an hour or so yesterday cleaning up our whole workstation because it's been kind of a mess, just throwing things around. And now we're going to basically put a lot of it away inside the bus because there's gonna be a lot of rain, a lot of wind, and we want to keep our shit safe.
So we need to put all that shit. We need to do more with it.
And it hits tonight, like kind of late, and we'll be going throughout the night and into the morning. I trust that we'll be fine. Send your prayers and
We're gonna-
good energy if that feels good to you.
He's gonna experience his first hurricane, that he keeps
So
trying.
is Flo.
He keeps trying to denote Gordon though.
And Flo she's nice and grounded. She's in a good, safe carport. She's gonna be okay, aren't you, little lady?
Little Flowski.
All right, we'll catch you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.